Greetings, friends. Jacques Howard here, and welcome to Trenton 365 Media, as well as Jacques R.E.A.C.H. And R.E.A.C.H. is an acronym that stands for Recreation, Environment, Art, Civics, and Health. Under each one of those subjects, I partner with organizations or develop lines of business or nonprofit work, whatever it is, to make sure that I can provide an opportunity for those individuals, those agencies, those businesses, etc., to come onto a radio and television program and share their content. The sharing of the content, the idea behind that is how we can build a better community for everyone. When we start to provide equal opportunity to more people and the same information to more people and let them make a strategic decision about how they want to move forward for themselves and for their family. With that being said, I've got Seyi, who's going to be coming on now. Seyi and I have known each other for a while. He's been doing lots of different things in the region. He is with Chase Bank, and he's going to talk a bit more about that. But there's also an event that's coming up on Wednesday, the 25th of September. So if you're seeing this a little bit after that, I apologize, but please make sure that you get in touch with Seyi or get in touch with me or find out more about the content that we're doing, because this is going to be ongoing. We're doing more than these one-off events where if you miss it, you missed it. No, let's do this. Let's have a debrief about how things were done. Let's design a strategy so that we can get more people involved in the process of making these events successful. Oftentimes, the funding and the support that's coming to the local level is coming from a higher entity, sometimes the federal government. So with that being said, it behooves us to design a strategy that makes this a successful distribution of information, content, and maybe it's finances as well. So with that being said, it's time to bring on Seyi. And Seyi, welcome, friend.
Good to be back.
Awesome, man. And I always like to give proper credit to people who I think are fashionably presenting. I really like your
Yes,
jacket
sir.
as
Thank
well.
you. Thank
And
you so much.
so what I'd like you to do, Seyi, is reintroduce yourself to the audience. And then right after that, we'll get talking about the event that's taking place at the Cure Insurance Arena on Wednesday, September
Yes.
25th. So I'll turn it over to you and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much again for the opportunity to be on your platform. Again, my name is Seyi Ola, um, community manager here at JP Morgan Chase. I'm a VP here in my role. I been here in the great capital city and region of Trenton for the last 3 years now, and this has been home a little bit before that as well. But I just really love the opportunity to give back in my role. I'm an ambassador for Chase in the community, specifically uplifting different values around financial literacy, homeownership and housing, workforce development, and then small business development. And that work brings me to different partners in the community that I partner with, whether it's in the government side, whether it's nonprofits or corporations as well. So that's what I do in the community. I'm a community guy, if you want to call me that.
Indeed, you are. And
Okay.
that's how you and I had met because of the work that you were doing in the community. And at one point in time, you had invited me to some in-person events that were
Yes.
taking place at different branch locations for
Yes.
Chase. Can you just talk about that program a bit more?
Yes, it's part of our community outreach, specifically to business owners in the community. The particular event that you came to was giving business owners the ability to understand their options around investments. And so we do events like that in our branches. We don't want the branch experience just to be transactional, but we want it to be relational. So in that spirit, the bank does a good job to create that environment within a branch setting where people can come, get information, be enlightened, receive the important things that they need to continue to maintain their financial health. And we do that across the region, across the country, and even here in our great county, in Mercer County and in Trenton specifically as well.
Now, when sometimes when folks are out and about and are traveling, they'll see the branch locations, and they
Mhm.
look awesome, they look modern. And for
Yes.
some folks, it may be a bit intimidating, especially if they do not have a bank account or they're not usually into dealing with business at banks. Can you just talk about some of the initial steps that Chase is taking to make sure that folks can feel comfortable, be integrated into the process of learning about financial literacy, learning about a potential savings, and then if
Yeah.
those are folks are in those spaces where they need to do some funding for college or higher learning,
Mhm.
et cetera, Chase has options for that as well.
Yeah. Great question. I think that the one of our mottos here, and I maybe call it an ethos, is really what we try to say that Chase is the bank for all, and the perception had been in the past that Chase was the bank for the 1%, right? And but that is not true. But we are changing that perception. So sometimes perception is not always reality, but that's still also the reality you find on ground. So you want to definitely change those perceptions to make sure it matches with the reality of what you do in the community. And so with our work, what we try to do is meet people where they are. Regardless of where you are in your financial journey, you know that you have a partner, someone that can work with you to wherever life stage you're in. And part of our financial literacy program, which is part of our curriculum, is called Chase Money Skills, giving people capacity to grow in their ability and their aptitude around financial matters. Anything from your budgeting and savings to credit, everything down to investments, home ownership, and housing, empowering people where they are. And that's something we try to do to just help people out. One of the things I'm really proud we did recently in the month of August was our back to school campaign, which gave us the ability to reach close to 500 families, including children and kids and parents, through the different partnerships we have in the community. We had close to 5 branches in the general area here in Mercer County that had the opportunity where we hosted back to school workshops for parents and for kids. And so those are ways, just one of the many glaring examples of how we've been able to reach out and meet people where they are. And you don't need to bank with Chase to attend our events. We just want to be able to be of service to you where you are.
Mhm. And I'm glad that you spoke about the youth and parents and working with their children, because I know that one of our conversations that we had was the importance of teaching civics and also financial literacy at a
Yes, sir.
younger age.
Yes, sir.
And if we can start getting to that point where corporations, big banks, public companies like Chase, they're focused on, hey, let's teach folks at a younger age about some of these things, so we'll have an educated constituency or customers as we go forward. It makes your job and
Yeah.
others in the banking place to be a little bit easier, knowing that folks are coming in. They've got an understanding about how the marketplace works, what are some of the products and tools that are available, and then we can pass it on to the children. So thank you so much for that. And I look
Absolutely.
forward to sharing more about what Chase is doing in the region as we have you come back onto the show as well.
Absolutely.
Let's pivot now and let's talk about this justice impacted career and resource fair. And let me do a quick promo, and then from that promo, you can go ahead and then take over from there.
Yeah.
So, New Jersey courts, the Superior Court of New Jersey, the Mercer County portion, is hosting a justice impacted career and resource fair. This is going to happen on Wednesday, September 25th, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Judiciary's Probation Division in Mercer County is hosting a career and resource fair to connect job seekers with local employers and agencies. Representatives from various employers, social services, case management, and treatment services will be present. Expungement-related materials also will be available. The event is open to the public, including applicants on parole, probation, or reentry. Registration is required. This is a free event sponsored by the Superior Court of New Jersey, Mercer R.E.A.C.H Probation Division, excuse me, Mercer County Reentry Coalition, along with the Mercer County Executive's Office. And this is happening at the Cure Arena on Wednesday, September 25th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can send an email to, it's probably easier to say a phone number, you can call 609-571-4200. extension 76204, 609 571 4200, extension 76204. Thanks for being patient with me, Shay, while I was reading that. But let's have you talk about it from your perspective, like this event, the culmination of it, why it's being done, and some of the role that you're playing in this as well.
Yeah, no, great question, and thanks for plugging that for us and then getting the word out to the public. This particular event is something that I'm really proud to be behind and to be connected to in two folds. I think, as I said earlier, in my specific role at JP Morgan Chase as a community manager, one of the things I uphold in the community is workforce development, and that's a very central part of the work that I do, and seeing how we can uplift that. One of the population that has been the most challenged in the workforce space has been the justice impacted individual, justice involved individuals. Due to their records, sometimes they cannot access employment opportunities, which ultimately impedes them to being able to be fully integrated back into society. After years of actually maybe spending time in prison or even years of rehabilitation, it seems like they can have that place. My specific role at JP Morgan Chase, in my work, that's one of the things I'm very passionate about in trying to uplift that in our community. In Trenton, in my office in Roebling, there's a state max prison behind my office. That's the reality of Trenton right now as we speak. State max prison where people obviously, men, women, incarcerated and come out and not really having resources to be able to get reintegrated back into society. And part of the work we do in reentry, at least to focus on this population and help them out, is it's got to start while they're inside. So for pre-release, release, and reintegration work. And so this particular event that is coming up is one of the outworkings of that. I've been privileged to be part of the Mercer County Reentry Coalition that I think kicked off the ground in October of last year. Through that, we have boasting within the group right now of close to 50 organizations, both government, nonprofits, and corporations here in Mercer County, focused on this very particular issue. I co-lead the coalition with Jeanette Risk of Work Well Partnership. And we have a number of other people, great people that have kind of really worked on this with us as we got this off the ground. And so in that same spirit, what we've been doing is finding ways within the coalition to gather and bring people together of like mind to say, how do we systematically solve this issue with it from a holistic point of view? It takes the whole village to be able to address this. And I would say that what happened is with this event, the county came to us, Mercer County Executive Office and NJ Courts, New Jersey Courts here in Mercer, and said, look, there is an opportunity here for us to host a career fair and resource fair. Say, would the coalition be willing to help in that effort? And we raised our hands because that is our heart. That is what we signed up for from day one, to try to help in this particular work. And so all three came together with other agencies as well to say the coalition, the courts, as well as the Mercer County administration, specifically Dan Benson's office, say, how can we put our hands together and put our resources together? And over the last probably month and a half or so, 2 months of planning, putting this together, bringing in resources, wraparound services for mental health, to food services, to ID procurement. And then also the other aspect of it is bringing second chance friendly employers that will be willing to participate in this fair, because it's both a career and resource fair. And we're just being so excited about how it has been coming together, the level of goodwill in the county and beyond, to try to bring this together and to serve the population. We say we want to make this about the people, and we just want to do the work of lifting the community, especially this community, this population and their families, giving them options and opportunities to a career path, giving them options to resources they might not be privy to for different reasons. And so the fair is really about that, bringing our community together to say, how can we love on the people, right, that have gone through tough times for different reasons. Here they are getting an opportunity to be reintegrated. And so the fair is very much in that same spirit, but it's a collaborative effort.
I when this was sent to me, it just bang, like literally something went off in my mind, because through the Trenton Microloan Collaborative and some of the work that we're doing there with folks who are entrepreneurs who were incarcerated, we're coming with that same approach, that holistic, meaning that WH holistic approach to them. Not just coming with an idea or a concept that, hey, we're going to provide just one thing to this person, but taking a more progressive look at things and saying, what does this person need as a whole? And what do we have access to as a whole? It may not be specifically our business line, but if we're connected to someone else who can do those things to assist them, then why not include them in the process as well? I like the fact that you mentioned Workwell, because through the Trenton Microloan Collaborative and the Mass Incarceration Task Force of Westminster, Nassau, and Witherspoon Presbyterian churches, we're working with Workwell. Then here in the New Jersey courts, and then learning about the Mercer County Reentry Coalition, I'm going to raise my hand and say, hey, I want to hear more about what your group is doing. Putting on something of this magnitude, including the state and the government agencies, as well as the locals, that's critical to how communities are built. We have to have lots of transactional conversations taking place from all people in our community and in society, so that we can find out, one, who's here, what are some of the things they need, what are they good at, how can we get them integrated into everything else, so like the body of the community can function and work better. And I appreciate, what Chase is doing, because again, large corporations, especially big banks and publicly traded companies, sometimes are so distant from the general population, the general public. And I appreciate that you one are on the ground here in Trenton doing these things. You have an office here in Trenton. You're going to meetings, you're meeting people in the community, you're developing your social capital, so that when you go into these places and into these spaces, you come with a reputation, with relationships already built and established. So then people like me and some of the faith communities that you work with and small businesses, they can comfortably be like, nah, Shay, nah, I've known him for years. Nah, I'm not talking to you right now, but you can talk to him because he can help you out with this and with these things.
Yeah.
And that's more of the approach that I'm excited to see that is tangibly happening on the streets here in Trenton. I want to talk about a couple of different things going into the weeds before we finish up. And one of them is about the communication from your office and from Chase. We have a very diverse population here in Trenton, speaking lots of different languages, not just English. And these are residents, they're US citizens. English is just not their first language. So we have to come up with ways of communicating in other languages, etc. In your experience, can you talk about how Chase and your office in particular is working with different groups of people who may not have English as their first language, and that there are services that are available through Chase where there are people who speak more than one language who can assist folks who may need your services?
Great question. I think that's an important thing if we're going to have any type of resonance in a community that is multicultural, right? Is to be able to kind of represent and have the ability to reach out and impact multiple people wherever they are. And so specifically, we're talking about Spanish speakers here. Chase has done a really great job in making sure that we bring our resources up to date. Our workshops are all offered now in Spanish and in English, and so we have the capacity to do that. And most of the branches you're going to walk into is that we have a lot of bilingual bankers that are able to speak and help clients where they are. In some of our areas, I know some pockets of Trenton or even parts of our region here, we have French speakers, Creole French speakers from Haiti, and really kind of helping address that as well, and having people that maybe be able to. And I would agree, we continue to kind of build our capacity in that area. In other areas where we have Mandarin speakers, we will hire accordingly to that particular community. Spanish is second language. That is probably the biggest need that we see right now, and collectively, if I'm speaking as a whole. And I think we're doing a good job in addressing that. And what my job is as a community manager is if there's holes and opportunities, maybe you go to a branch and you have an experience. It's like, well, I couldn't find someone that can help. You can always bring it to me because I represent the community and I represent the interest of the community back to Chase and vice versa. And so I tell people we're not perfect, but we're striving to serve and to be the bank for all. And how we get better is feedback. So feedback is the greatest gift that anybody can give to you. And so we do our best to kind of address it. But yeah, to your point, we have capacity now to be able to build and to give content in Spanish as well as some other languages as well.
Thank you so much for that, Shay, because we want to make sure that if you're here, you're here. So let's
Yeah.
figure out how we can, what do you need? How can we help you be successful? What's going on with your family? Those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing up, Shay, I'd like for you to let some folks know who in the listening and viewing audience who may be apprehensive. I'm not sure if I want to go. I'm not comfortable. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. Just kind of do your pitch from your perspective of being part of the Mercer County Reentry Coalition for this event that's coming up on Wednesday. Just share from your perspective for folks who may be apprehensive about joining.
Um, so let me say this. Let me say this real quick. You don't want to miss this opportunity. I really want to impress upon you that this is going to be worth your while. If you've had any type of records, criminal records, being justice impacted in any way, shape, or form, and you're looking for resources that make sense, you want to come to this fair. There's going to be so many. There's probably close to 40 organizations that are going to be in the room alone providing wraparound services. Not talk less of employers that are going to be in the room that are ready to hire and looking to hire people like yourself. And so you don't want to miss that opportunity. And let's say you do miss this opportunity, we want you to reach out to us because we still have contact with those same people. So if for whatever reason you can't come, we say, and hopefully this is not the only time we're going to host and do events like this, so at least we can put it on our mailing list. But if you can come, it's going to be from 11 to 3 p.m. We're going to have food distribution. So we have brochures we're giving out. We have mental health advice. We have a lot of great things, even ID procurement. The Department of Motor Services is going to be there. So you don't want to miss this opportunity to be here. It's going to be great. Event is free. It's free. I'll say that again. Not free 99, free, completely free. So, so definitely be there. I want to say something really quickly. A huge shout out to NJ Courts and again to Mercer County Administration Office, specifically Terry West and Kaylee Johanman. And both of them have done such a great job in helping putting this together alongside with the coalition. And we couldn't have done this without them and many others behind the scenes that are nameless right now, but many organizations in county doing this. These are people that really care. Please be there. I think it's going to make a difference in your life.
There we have it.
Thanks.
Another one of these amazing human beings that are in my network that I'm encouraging you to take some time, reach out to them, ask them about what they do, develop a relationship like I'm developing with them so that together we can work together and build a better community for everyone. Shay, thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
And
right.
folks, again, this is an opportunity for you to reach out to folks who are in my network, some amazing human beings. Drop my name if you want when you reach out to them. Tell them, where you heard about this. You heard about it on Trenton 365, WIMG, WPHY, R.E.A.H., whatever it is. But take those steps because those steps are critical to making those small pivots in your life to improve your life and hopefully the lives of others. In closing, remember, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.